Shabbat Shalom, everybody. It is so wonderful to see all of you here on this very exciting Shabbat for me, because it's my first Shabbat here in the sanctuary. It's my first Shabbat as the official rabbi of McAllen, of Temple Emanuel, of everyone who is gathered here. And of course, if at any point during the service you can't hear me, you can post in the chat, you can wave your arms like this, and hopefully someone behind the scenes will be able to help you out. Big thanks, first of all, and I'll thank some more people later in the service, but thank you to Paulette for working behind the scenes to make all of the connections work, and a big, big thank you to, I can't see his face right now, but a big, big thank you to Brad for putting all of these together and working through all of our technical needs to make sure that this service could happen and get out to reach everybody. I am so glad that you're here with us this evening, and Shabbat Shalom. We'll open with Ma Tovu, a song which comes from this week's Torah portion. A little bit more on that in a moment. If you're at home, no one can hear you except for other people in the house, and if you love to sing, I hope you'll sing along from home. For sure, you can't sing any worse than I do. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Vani berov chastecha avo betecha, Eshtachaveh el hechal kodshecha beiratecha. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Adonai, ahavti me'od beitecha, umekom mishkan kevodecha, va'ani eshtachaveh ve'echa, echa lifnei Adonai osi. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Vani tefilati lecha Adonai et ratzon Elohim ברוב חסדך, אינני באמת אישך. מה טובו אוהליך יעקב, אוהליך יעקב, משכנותיך ישראל. And now that we have welcomed with these words this curse turned into a blessing, how beautiful are your homes, your houses, your tents, your dwelling places, all Israel, all the children of Jacob. That's all of us from all of our sanctuaries, our homes, our living rooms, our kitchens, all of the places that we are gathering together from today. As we fill those places with lights, if you have candles of your own at home, this would be a perfect time to light them along with me. As we light these Shabbat candles, and as these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we in our own lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu, lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the lights of Shabbat. Where has this week vanished? Is it lost forever? Will I ever recover anything from it? The joy of life, the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the task accomplished. Will I ever be able to banish the memory of pain, the sting of defeat, the heaviness of boredom? On this day, let me keep for a while what must drift away. On this day, let me be free of the burdens that must return. On this day, Shabbat abide. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai Shir Hadash. Is this a song you know? This is one of the songs that I grew up with. It always reminds me of my congregation in Boulder and the cantorial soloist there who sang this song, and so many songs that were a big introduction to me to the world of Jewish music. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, Shiru l'Adonai shir hadash. Sing unto God, all the earth, a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God, and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Shiru l'Adonai. I hope you're singing. Kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir hadash. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir hadash. Shir hadash. as we transition into the beginning of our service, the call to worship the Baruch Hu, we transition with the words of the Chatzi Kadesh. Yitkadal ve'yitkadash me'aba Ba'alma divrach irutei v'yamlich malchutei B'chayechon u'vyomechon U'v'chayedecho Beit Yisrael Ba'agala U'bizman kariv Ve'yimeru Amen. Yahei Shemei Rabba Mevarach Le'alam U'al Me'al Maya Yitbarach Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ach V'yitrama V'yitnaseh V'yithadach V'yit'aleh V'yithalal Shemei Dekudesha Berichu Le'ela min kol bechata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damira be'alma ve'imeru Amen. We rise now for the Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed. Now at this time, in our service, I should remind you that anytime I say, please rise, if you're at home, you can rise physically or you can rise in your heart. The Talmud tells us that if one is unable to physically stand, that one should rise in their heart and direct their heart towards God. If you choose to stay seated, that's all right. If you're not facing east, that's all right, because God is indeed everywhere that we can face. In fact, you'll see during this service, rather than turning towards the ark each time we rise and bow, I'll be facing the congregation, you, as I lead you in prayer. This is an hour of change. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is an hour of change, and within it, we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv alavi. You keep loving us as you have always loved us, Adonai, our God. You impart to us Torah and mitzvot to know reality and justice. Therefore, Adonai, our God, when we are to rest for the night, when we are to rise for the day, we will make your principles our conversation. That will give us steady joy as we talk Torah and plan to do mitzvot. This is what we live for. This is what keeps us going. Day and night we will ponder their meaning. Just keep on all along loving us. Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Vared. If it is your custom to remain standing through Shema, you may be seated at this time. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom halevavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha b'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha ukshavtam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein heinecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים. Ani Adonai Elohechem. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai. I'm going to pause for just a moment. I'm being told that the screen is not sharing. When did we lose it?
Okay, you're live again.
I'm not seeing the video.
I see it here. There you go.
All right, I think we're back now. Thank you for bearing with us. If that's the worst problem of the week, then we are doing pretty well. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say Adonai. Give us the courage to say Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then we shall rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, nora tehilot osef eleh. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom. Let us lie down in peaceful breath and quiet mind. V'ha'amidenu shomreinu l'chayim. Guided to a restful sleep that refreshes our energy and fills us with gratitude for our life. And let the stars be spread above our homes, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, like a blanket of heavenly warmth. Release us from the agony of uncertainty, guided by wise and sure counsel, cutting through the noise of shifting voices to hear your eternal message. V'haser me'aleinu oyev dever v'cherev v'ra'av v'yagom. Be our personal protective barrier against invisible and encroaching enemies, not only the virus, but our own doubts and anxieties, boredom, inner unrest and turmoil in our homes. Let us not redirect our own fear towards those that we love in the form of anger, criticism, withdrawal, or impatience. Let social distancing not lead to being socially distant. As we strive to protect one another, let your divine protection surround us and fill our spirits. Ushmor tzeitenu uvoenu lechayimu shalom me'ata ve'ad olam. Because you, O God, guard and watch over us in our homes when we must leave our homes. You guard and watch over our frontline healthcare workers. You guard and watch over all essential workers who feed, clean, provide, protect, and sustain. You make miracles of human decency and hope arise in our souls and spread throughout the world. Let hope and humanity, caring and health continue to bloom every day until our world is whole again. Baruch atah Adonai, blessed are you, Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, who weaves the heavens like a blanket over us. Ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim, Ve'al kol ha'olam, bringing peace, healing, and wholeness to Israel, Jerusalem, and the world. Please rise in your home and in your heart. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומר חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורה ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. Please be seated. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among the inhabitants of our world. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Adonai, who blesses your people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamvarech et amo Yisrael, bashalom. We continue now in personal prayer and meditation. Ose shalom bimroma, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru amen. Ya'aseh shalom, Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. May the one who creates peace to reign in the high heavens let peace descend on us and all of Israel and all the world, to which we say Amen. We take a moment now to say a prayer of healing for all those who are in need of God's healing at this time. On our Misha Berach list this Shabbat, we're thinking and sending prayers of God's healing to Tal Hazon, Jacob Hazon, Meyer Ben Esther, Joanna Batsara, James Dutremaine, Megan Jasso, Yolanda Easley, Oscar Garcia, Joseph Ben Matilde, Caleb Ben Yaakov Micha, and Berta Rivas. If you know of anyone in your circle of concern who is in special need of prayers for healing at this time, and I know that there are so many in our community and in our world who are in desperate need of healing at this time, you can speak their names aloud in your homes, in your own private sanctuary at this time. You can also share those names with me so that they can be added to the Misha Berach list next week if needed. At this time, as we are entering the July 4th holiday, our prayers are especially with soldiers, all of those members of our armed forces who guard us and watch over us, their families who miss them when they are away. We send our prayers for healing and for God's protection with all of those who protect us, all of our frontline workers, all of our first responders, all of those who are essential workers bringing us the essential services that we need to survive, the often unsung heroes. We ask that God's healing be with them, with all of those, and with all of those you name in your own hearts and your own homes at this time. Please join with me in these words of Misha Berach. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema. the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. May God's healing come swiftly and soon to all those who are in need of healing, and may God's presence be with all of those who are in need of God's presence at this time as we say together, Amen. A few words at this time. I'm having a small technical issue. We're going to pause the sound and video just a moment.
Audio's coming back.
And we're back. We may have to do that again at the end of the sermon. Happy Erev Independence Day. Yes, today is July 3rd, and despite everything that's going on in the world, it is still a cause for celebration. We have our freedom, our opportunity, and our deep American belief that we can always make things better. This year is a little different. There are no fireworks at Municipal Park this weekend, and we may not feel as free as ever with the restrictions that this pandemic has imposed on all of us. But we are still Americans, and we still have our traditions. To be honest, I love fireworks, and I will miss seeing them, but I've always thought that it was a strange tradition for the 4th of July. We celebrate peace and independence with explosions and hot dogs. But of course, there are a lot of American traditions that must seem very strange to anyone who didn't grow up here. For Thanksgiving, we eat a giant bird with cranberry sauce, except for the ones that get the presidential pardon. And then we go stand in line at the mall for the Black Friday deals. On Halloween, we make faces on large orange gourds, and children extort their neighbors for candy. On New Year's, we watch a giant ball covered in lights drop from above a building. However, perhaps the strangest American tradition of all is Groundhog's Day. Do you know about this holiday? It falls every year on February 2nd, and it involves a groundhog, also known as a woodchuck, which is a large burrowing rodent that lives in the northeastern United States and in Canada. If you haven't seen one, they're something like a cross between a badger and a squirrel and a beaver all mixed together. Now, Westerners became familiar with them in the 1700s, around the time that the colonies were becoming a nation. A strange superstition emerged, perhaps originating from the early German settlers of Pennsylvania. Groundhogs hibernate through the winter, sometimes awakening in the late winter before spring has fully arrived. It is believed, according to tradition, that the groundhog can actually anticipate or perhaps even predict the coming of the spring. The explanation goes like this. If a groundhog emerges from its burrow on the morning of February 2nd and sees its shadow, it will become frightened of the strange and unfamiliar shape. Not realizing that it's merely its own shadow, the groundhog will dive back into its den and hibernate for another 6 weeks, indicating 6 more weeks of winter. If, however, it is cloudy, then there will be no shadow. The groundhog will see no menacing shape, will emerge fully, predicting an early spring. For me, this has always raised a lot of questions. Why would a sunny day be a harbinger of a cold winter weather? Why should a groundhog be afraid of its shadow? And why on earth would anyone look to this weird burrowing marmot to prognosticate the weather at all? The strangeness is compounded by the 1993 Bill Murray film in which the comic actor is forced to relive the same day over and over, Groundhog Day. Well, these are strange times that we live in, and maybe certain strange traditions of the past resonate once again. Don't we all feel a bit like groundhogs right now? It's not winter here in the valley, even in February, but we are all nonetheless hibernating in our burrows, filled with trepidation and anxiety about the season to come. Will it be a short isolation in our separated shelters, or will there be 6 more weeks of cold, unfriendly headlines? We emerge, when we do emerge, with hesitation, searching for dangers. There's the neighbor's family out for a walk. Her kid keeps pulling off his mask. Can dogs transmit the virus? I better go back into my hideaway just to be safe. In this week's Torah portion, we read about the wicked, or perhaps simply foolish, prophet Balaam, who was hired by the evil or perhaps merely fearful King Balak. Balaam was a non-Jewish prophet who was renowned for the power he had to issue blessings or curses that would indeed come true. King Balak saw the prophet as a secret weapon against the Jews and sent him to curse our ancestors as we wandered in the wilderness. The intended curses were famously transformed into blessings. Most notably, Ma tovu o halecha Yaakov, how lovely are your tents, O Jacob, your dwelling places, O Israel, the words with which we opened this service. But this is far from a straightforward story. When King Balak first sent messengers to conscript Balaam to his service, Balaam first consulted with the God of the Israelites, Numbers 22. God said to Balaam, "Do not go with them. You must not curse that people, for they are blessed." Then Balak sent other dignitaries, more numerous and distinguished than the first. They came to Balaam and said to him, "Thus says Balak, son of Zippor, please do not refuse to come to me. I will reward you richly, and I will do anything you ask of me. Only come and curse this people for me." Balaam replied to Balak's officials, "Stay here overnight and let me find out what else Adonai may say to me." That night, God came to Balaam and said to him, "If these men have come to invite you, you may go with them. But whatever I command you, that you shall do." When he arose in the morning, Balaam saddled his ass and departed with the Moabite dignitaries. Well, from there, the story gets downright weird. God sends an angel to kill Balaam for going with Balak, and he's saved by his donkey, his ass, who can see the angel even when Balaam can't, and then the donkey starts talking and really puts Balaam in his place. This is one of my favorite Torah portions, but you're going to have to join me at Torah study tomorrow to get to all the juicy parts. The relevant part of the story for us is that God told Balaam exactly what to do. Stay in your house. Don't go out and curse the Israelites. Balaam listened at first, but then he started to feel the strain of staying home. He was missing out on a lot of good business. So he asks God a second time, even though he already got his answer. God again warns him of the dangers, but basically says, you're allowed to go out, but you do so at your own risk. Balaam stupidly takes this as permission and nearly loses his life as a consequence. Well, right now, we're stuck somewhere between Balaam and the groundhog. Do we risk our lives by going out even when we've been told not to, and we know the risks that we're taking? Do we hide forever in a hole, afraid of the specter of a threat, the shadow of a danger that, as it turns out, really is our own shadow? We're in this mess because of the irresponsible decisions of our fellow human beings. It's our own shadow that is keeping us in hiding. But just like the cold winters of the Northeast that the first Patriots marched through in 1776, this misery cannot last forever. Winter will always come to an end, and so too will this season of pandemic. We don't know if it will be 6 more weeks or 6 more months of nesting in our burrows, but the end will certainly come. It will come much faster if we all listen to the instructions we've been given, unlike the wicked prophet Balaam, who ignored the obvious warnings. This is not the sermon that I was expecting to give this evening when I was first offered this position some 6 months ago. This is my first Shabbat. It's supposed to be a casual get-to-know-you type of sermon. A little of my background, what I hope to do here. The truth is, I've been doing a lot already in these few days since and before I started. This is not the sermon I expected, but it is the message we need to hear. In difficult times and in better times that are to come, I will always endeavor to be what the people of this community need. I will certainly trip up and sometimes make myself look like an ass. Again, tie-in, Torah portion. But I will put my trust in all of you as I ask you to put your trust in me. Together, we will make it through to better days. We have a few announcements before our service continues. We've got some simchas in the community, some joyous news. Gary Gerwitz just had his 85th birthday this week. Happy birthday, Gary. I hope you don't mind me sharing the number. We're all very excited to celebrate with you. Sandra Galpern had her birthday this week. Barry and Nora London celebrated their anniversary this Wednesday. Happy anniversary. And Jack and Paula Freed are celebrating their anniversary today. If you're watching, happy anniversary. I'm so glad that you're including me in your special day. Stuart and Sylvia Gail Klein have their anniversary tomorrow on the 4th of July. That is a really special day. And even though you won't be enjoying the fireworks that often accompany the celebration of your anniversary, I hope it is one filled with joy and celebration. Tomorrow morning, we have Torah study at 9:30. As I said, if you want all the juicy details about the Parsha, I hope you'll join me there from my home, followed by Shabbat morning services and Torah reading at 10:30. You can join me there as well. Check your email for the links to attend. This coming Wednesday, July 8th at 8 p.m., we have a very special event that we are able to be a part of. And this is a time, as you know, it's the middle of summer when many of our young children would be in camp. They can't be in camp this year because it just simply isn't safe for them to be sharing bunks, to be in camp all together in one place, doing the things that they love to do. But that doesn't mean that the camps don't need our support. The WRJ Southwest District is dedicating some more support event for camp, which is a virtual campfire song session and fundraiser. You can join the WRJ Southwest District as they raise much needed funds for our own URJ Camp Green Family Camp, as well as Camp Jacobs. Wear your camp gear. Get ready to sing your favorite songs by the virtual campfire, bringing in special guest cantoral soloist Tori May, assisted by our own song leaders of our region from both Green Family Camp and from Camp Jacobs. The fundraiser, the cost for the fundraiser is $18. It goes to support the camps. If you can't join, you can still register, you can still make a donation. This is gonna be a ton of fun if you are camp age kids or if you have camp age kids at home. Make sure that they get this opportunity to have a little taste of their summer camp this week. Keep checking your email for those details. I'm going to pause for just one moment while we get the service back on your screen, and then we'll continue with Aleinu and Kaddish.
Video stop. Sound.
And we are back. If you are able to physically rise at this time. If not, rise in your heart for the Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. There are stars up above so far away that we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with the people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. At this time, we were remembering members of our community who are in a period of shloshim, the families of Mirna Levin and Charlene Hertz, and we're remembering all of those who have died in the past year: Alan Senker, Rhoda Kahn, Carlos Glixman, Beatrice Goldman, Aaron Asensio, Roy Dale, Adelia Asensio, Antonio Diaz, and Leon Wernick. We're also remembering those whose yard sites occur at this time, including Irving Averick, Leslie Hoffman, Trinidad Guerra, Dolores Vargas. If there are any other names that are coming to your heart at this time that you are missing, you may post them in the chat or say them aloud in your homes at this time as we continue with the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyomechon, u'v'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, v'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal. Shemei d'kudisha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran ba'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min Shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. V'yimru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mamav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. V'yimru Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to all the world, to which we say, Amen. Our closing song this evening, and actually before we get to the closing song, I want to add a couple of my own personal thank yous for this service. Of course, I mentioned Brad, who's here helping me through our thankfully small technical hiccups. The technical hiccups for sure would have been much greater without his presence and his help all this week, putting this service together, making it possible to happen. Paulette, who I messaged this morning asking where I could find the candlesticks, and you can imagine if I'm calling Paulette for something like, where are the candlesticks, because I can't find them. All of the hundreds of little things that she has done for me and for this community to make this possible, up to and including leading services for 2 years. God bless you. I know it's not easy, and we are so appreciative of everything that you've done and continue to do. Annie, who has really helped with all of the logistics, from helping me to get here to McAllen and everything leading up to this, making sure that we had the tools and resources we have. Ito, our temple president, our fearless leader. For sure, we would not be here without your leadership and decision-making. All of the members of the board who, by the way, made sure that Linda and I were well fed since we got to McAllen by bringing us dinner every single night. They set up a whole rotation and made sure that we were taking care of all of the board members. Whether you brought us food or not, we appreciate you and the work that you do and everything to make this possible. Those are my personal thank yous. And we can continue now with our closing song, Ein Keloheinu. I hope, although I can't hear you, maybe if you sing loud enough, I'll be able to hear you somewhere outside those temple walls joining with me in Ein Keloheinu. Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemalkeinu, Ein Kamoshi'enu, Micheloheinu, Michadonenu, Michemalkeinu, Michmoshi'enu. Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adonenu, Nodel Malkeinu, Nodel Moshi'enu. Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshi'enu. Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshi'enu. Shabbat Shalom. I am so happy that all of you are here with me, joining together in this service this evening. I hope you stick around for the oneg. I'm going to start things off with the Kiddush blessing. If you have your own Kiddush cup and wine at home, I hope you'll go ahead and fill them up now. This Kiddush cup is actually special to me and Linda because it is hers, and it's from a special event in her life as she was welcomed among the Jewish people. And so it ties together my special family with the special family here at the temple on this first Shabbat to be blessing with this Kiddush cup. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who has created the fruit of the vine. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu Shabbat kodsho b'ahava u'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh bereshit ki hu yom tehila lemikra'e kodesh zecher l'tziat mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta Viltanu kitasta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava u'ratzon hin'altanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. L'chaim.
L'chaim.
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who finding favor with us, sanctified us with mitzvot. In love and favor, you made the Holy Shabbat our heritage as a reminder of the work of creation. As first among our sacred days, it recalls the exodus from Egypt. You chose us and set us apart from the peoples. In love and favor, you have given us your holy Shabbat as an inheritance. Praise to you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. I hope everybody sticks around for the oneg. By the way, if you have any thoughts, any feedback about this service, I would love to hear from you. My email and phone number are on the screen. Perhaps against my better judgment, because I really do want to hear from the community. I want to hear what you love about the service, what you would like to see more of in future services. Give me a call, send me an email, let me know. And if you love everything about the service, you can let me know, but also let your friends know so that they can join us next week. Shabbat Shalom. I will see you in just a minute from my office as I join you for the oneg. But for now, I'm going to say bye from the sanctuary. See you in a minute.
Well, everybody feel free to unmute yourselves and put your put your video on so we can see your smiling Shabbat faces.
No.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. How do we say Shabbat shalom in Spanish?
Igual.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Hey, tomorrow's not at 8 o'clock, it's at 9:30.
Yeah, 9:30.
AM.
Please, 9:30.
Yes.
Shabbat shalom.
From Minneapolis, Minnesota.
All
Wow.
right.
Hi, Millie. Hi. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hi. Hi, Heather. I heard you.
How are the mosquitoes in Minnesota?
We just had a big storm here. Big storm.
my.
Yeah.
So tomorrow.
But no snow. It wasn't snow.
Yay.
Come in, Victor. About time.
You know, during the Shema, I had tears in my eyes. I was so grateful, so happy that Rabbi Farb is here.
I can relate to that.
It's nice to have a rabbi.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it is. Ah,
There we go.
Oh,
Perfect.
oh.
Yeah.